So before I get to the gist of this video, I just want to say I just got back from the dentist and half of my mouth is literally asleep. I can't feel anything, so I might sound a little bit weird, but that shouldn't be a problem. I still hope you guys can understand me. So let's start with this video. For those of you that just want to know what this video is about and what the core message is, basically it is the following. Yes, a parser has been made for Lost Ark. It has been published, it is apparently working, I don't know myself, I didn't try it, but of course it is not endorsed by Smilegate nor Amazon. But it exists and that is already really big news. Now in this video I'm going to talk about how I feel about this, and I want you to really let me know in the comments how you feel about this, because I know parsing is a very interesting topic. Honestly, it always has been, it always will be, and I personally believe I have a lot. And I mean that, a lot of experience when it comes to parsing from Final Fantasy XIV. I did not play World of Warcraft, but I was a log runner in Final Fantasy XIV. I was striving for speed kills, log runs, you name it, I did it. And now we see logs in Lost Ark. Now before you listen to my opinion and the good and the bad about a parser, please stop the video here, maybe let a comment below and let me know how you feel about it, because I want to know what the majority of the player base of Lost Ark thinks about a parser and how it will affect the game. But now let's talk about first the good and the bad. The good part about parsing is honestly just one single thing. It helps you personally to optimize your character. You can understand what you're doing wrong. You might see logs, you might see that you're doing some wrong rotation, you might see that you have less uptime than other people, you might be able to realize that you played your class wrong all along but you never knew. So basically the only good thing that I personally see in parsing is the fact that you can use it for self-improvement. You can analyze your logs and you can compare them to other people that play the same class and see how they are performing better. A player that might not be aware of underperforming might never be aware of it unless logs exist. So in my opinion, logs are very good for self-improvement. That was also the way I felt about them back in Final Fantasy XIV. You can improve your arm rotation, your uptime and whatnot by analyzing logs. One more small thing I want to add is that in a competitive environment, in a guild where everyone is very professional about a parser, it can actually have a positive influence. People can help each other just based on logs and on analyzing them. But that is also something that happens very rarely because there are so many bad things about a parser, at least that's how I feel about it. So with this point being made, let's talk about the bad things of a parser. I don't want this to get too long because honestly this is a very massive topic and you could discuss this in detail for a very long time. Now the gist in my opinion about this topic is that it enables or creates toxicity in many environments. Parsing is something that requires you to perform in order to actually feel good about it. If you are underperforming, it will be visible to your party members or be visible to other people looking you up on websites that can then track your logs. This always creates some form of elitism. People believe that they are better, people believe that they are stronger, and of course then they don't want to play with people that are underperforming. This is a very big factor. If you are looking for groups to clear legion rates, for example, people will be looking at logs and they see them and they go like, oh bro, you're not really performing up to the level that we expect. We all expect only people at the highest level of 99 percentile and higher. This is exactly how it was in Final Fantasy XIV. People with similar logs will always try to group up. You will not find someone at the highest level playing suddenly with people at a very low level. But right now in Lost Ark, this can happen. Obviously, the people that are playing together have the same mindset. They want to grind, they want to optimize, they want to play together. Other people remain rather casual. Everyone finds a guild build that suits their needs, and that way they stick together. Performance in the end doesn't really play such a big role due to the fact that what matters is the mindset. If someone is dying too often, they can ask for help, they can ask for improvement, and you can look at what they're doing wrong. But no one can look at the rotation. You could, but it's quite hard. You can see if someone is using a wrong skill, but that's all there is basically. In general, the problem with parsing is that it actually puts a number on you. It puts a log, a percentile on you, and it creates this space or gap in between people that are optimizing at a high level and people that are not caring as much about the parsing. In general, you could argue this is not such a bad thing because you also put like-minded people together again, but it still creates a divide in between people that do care and people that don't care. In general, in Final Fantasy XIV, the experience with logging was pretty bad for me. Not that it was bad in terms of I didn't like it or anything, I did enjoy log running a lot, but there was a lot of elitism going on. Even me myself, I was an elitist back in the days when I started logging. I felt I was superior to people that wouldn't play properly, and honestly looking back, I am really not proud of that, but that is something that happened around 2-3 years ago. I moved on for that. I have a different view on parsing now, and I don't want to talk too much about that. In general, I believe that parsers cannot contribute to a positive environment because what is going to happen? First off, Lost Ark is different from Final Fantasy XIV due to a weekly logout. In Final Fantasy XIV, you can enter a Savage raid as many times as you like and then run for logs. In Lost Ark, that will not work. You can go in one time into your Argos party, into your Aurea party, or into future Legion raids. One time clearing, that's your log. No optimization, no speed running, no log running. It doesn't exist. Now, how will that affect the community if they start caring about logs? People will then start to greed in those raids. They will start to run skills that provide more damage over utility. For example, why would I run my shield on my gun lance if I can't just run more damage? If people will judge me for my log. I want to run Elastias right now to help my team, to be a half of a support basically. While when logs exist, people will see me underperform, they might not take me into their party because I'm running a utility skill over a damage skill. And this exactly is what's going to happen. People are going to drop counter skills, utility skills, just to squeeze out a little bit more damage. Yes, people might start running more optimized engravings, so aka they will actually run what's good in terms of damage, but they will also greed more, they will play worse due to that because all they think about is the parse. Obviously, this is not everyone. I'm not saying every party will be filled with people like that, but you have a very high chance you will encounter people like that. Now, regarding even something else is the fact that Lost Ark is a game where you can accelerate your gear progression with real life money. Now, having that in logs is even something, it's literally a can of worms that I don't want to open because it makes absolutely no sense, solely for the fact that you can accelerate your progression with real life currency, basically. On top of that, the combat in Lost Ark is very volatile. It changes a lot. It has a lot of patterns. It's not very static like it is in Final Fantasy XIV, and you just press the same buttons over and over again. It is different. It has just something else to it, basically. I could make this video literally probably 20 minutes talking about this, with structured arguments for both sides that work. Yet, what actually matters is what you guys think. I gave you my opinion on this. I think a parser is a bad thing for this video game. There are a lot of other things that I didn't even talk about, like for example discovering that class balance might not be as great as we think it is. Classes getting locked out of certain parties. They already are in hell mode. Now, in Vulcan, this might be the same. So there's a lot of other things that you could now talk about, but I don't want to talk about because what matters is how you feel about this. How does the community feel about having a parser? So please, all I want to hear is your opinion on this topic. Do you like having a parser? If so, what for? Do you think it's good for the game? Do you think it's healthy? Do you think this improves the game? Or are you like me? Are you against a parser? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it breeds toxicity? What is your take on parsing? If you have anything to say, please let me know in the comments, because this is something that is genuinely very interesting to me to see how the community feels about this. On that note, thank you guys so much for watching. That was it for today. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Also can subscribe to my channel. On top of that, you can also come watch me on Twitch, where I stream nearly every day, and you can follow me on Twitter. And with that, wishing you all a great rest of your day wherever you live.